Hey, welcome back to the Outpost. Today we're going to be talking about the modern scouting concept. It's kind of going to be the basis of what Outpost 95, what the YouTube channel and the blog is going to be about. Why scouting? It seems to incorporate best the skill sets needed both in a civilian or a military context. The baseline skills that modern prepared individual would be looking at: your hunters, your trappers. You're going to be your modern minutemen. Some of the stuff that they would want to know or express interest in knowing. Obviously, the scouting's got a huge military application, which doesn't super apply to us, but we can learn a great deal from that. And your historical scouts, they would go from their civilian work straight into the military. Basically, they were trained on inception, and then they were able to go to work in that context very well. Certain law enforcement applications definitely have a heavy emphasis on these outdoor skills, but a lot of them do not as well. What we're really talking about here is going to be some of the skills and techniques, trying to develop and refine, going through the Land Nav series currently, along with the TAC-Med stuff. TAC-Med's got some application. A lot of the medicine application in combat sense, though, really isn't the tactical stuff. It's the day-to-day outdoor or expeditionary side of medicine. It's the same skill sets that are going to be applicable in your scouting world, in your home life, for your hikers, your bushcrafters, your hunters, your stuff like that. And there's plenty of biblical context that we can go over. Joshua used scouts quite a bit. David did as well. Historical examples of your scouts. Really an inspiration for me is the Frederick Burnham. He's also the same guy that a lot of the Boy Scout concept was based off of when his time in South Africa and Rhodesia. And from what I understand, Jeff Cooper, when he made the Scout rifle, he was kind of envisioning a guy like this. Some of the other points of inspiration, interesting case studies, would be your Canadian Pacific Coast Militia Rangers from the World War II era, and then they've evolved into a modern day Canadian Ranger, comprised mostly of the indigenous personnel, but they're working in the far north regions, and they're a component of the military. Mountain men, it would kind of be the 200-year ago idea of somebody who's incorporating this skill set all the way through about 100 years ago. They were still guys that were operating in that context, Burnham and stuff like that. Your military, there's plenty of points of inspiration there. Some of the ones that seem to have good grasp would be like the Rhodesians, your Shella Scouts, or your SAS there. In America, you got your LERPs, your Scout Sniper guys. LERS is the modern ones, but there's quite a few different military guys that we can take a lot of points of learning from in our civilian world and get good skill set and knowledge base. Why am I talking about this? Am I even qualified? Who knows? I've never been officially designated a scout. Military background. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy, assigned with the Marine Infantry Unit, and then also spent some time doing CASEVAC, spent some time in the Border Patrol. There's a lot of fieldcraft that goes into that job there. And then during that time, I spent quite a few years on a mountain team called the Air Mobile Unit. And we worked in the mountains, and we used a lot of fieldcraft techniques. Really started to get my interest going even further than background all my life of hunting and stuff like that, outdoor activities. Some of the stuff I know about and I've taught before, Land Nav, TAC medicine, stuff like that. Some of the stuff we're going to be learning together, and you can watch me fall on my face and fail or learn, but we'll see. I'll try to keep it, if I know what I'm talking about, or if this is based in research, and then we'll try and flesh out some of these ideas and see if they're any good. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you got any ideas on what you want to learn about or questions, definitely leave a comment or shoot me an email. That way we can talk about them and focus our path forward in learning here. Thanks for joining. God bless.